Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the NoDQ.com live recap of Survivor Series 2021. I am turning 39 years old at midnight, so you guys will witness me becoming 1 year older. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I appreciate it, and we'll do a full-blown birthday bash for the Raw recap coming up. But for now, let's get to Survivor Series. Brooklyn, New York, Barclays Center. During the kickoff show, there were like 5 people chanting for AEW. And we did have an AEW star's name chanted during the show. We'll get to that in a little bit. I do ask anyone in the chat room, if you're going to send a super chat, please stick to the topic if possible. I very much would appreciate it. If you want to send a super chat about Roman Reigns versus Big E, save it for that match. Let's get to the kickoff match, which was for the Intercontinental title. I'm not surprised here that this match was put on the kickoff show. I think the Battle Royal should have been on the kickoff, but hey, that's just me. This match was pointless. I mean, it was a good match, but it was a waste of time. There was no conclusion to this match, really. Nothing was settled, and nothing's going to be settled because both guys are technically on different brands unless they have a match on Raw, which I suppose is a possibility. We'll get to that here in a few minutes. So the storyline of this match, Shinsuke Nakamura, the Intercontinental Champion, against Damian Priest, the United States Champion. The storyline was that Rick Boogs was interfering with his guitar. He was playing his guitar every time Damian Priest got the upper hand. And Priest warned Boogs to stop playing the guitar, but Boogs did not stop. Boogs kept playing the guitar. Pat McAfee was losing his mind. And then Priest lost his mind. He finally snapped. He went to the outside of the ring. He grabbed the guitar from Boogs and he smashed it. He broke the guitar. Then he took the piece of the guitar and hit Boogs in the face. Nakamura went to the outside of the ring and Priest hit Nakamura with the guitar piece, causing a disqualification here in the kickoff show. Like I said, what was the point of this? What's the follow-up? They're on different brands. Are they going to have a match on Raw? We'll get to that in a few minutes, but the whole thing was just a waste of time. Like, you could have easily skipped this and you would have missed absolutely nothing. There is a $5 super chat here from Hamp Connell. Thank you, Hamp. He says, happy birthday. This was the worst Survivor Series ever, but do you get the vibe that The Rock has said yes to WrestleMania? We'll get to The Rock in a few minutes. I will definitely address that. As far as worst Survivor Series ever, no, not even close to the worst Survivor Series ever. I could name several worst Survivor Series. 93 was pretty bad. 2013 was quite forgettable. And honestly, a lot of the recent Survivor Series were largely forgettable. 2009 was pretty much a throwaway show. 2010 as well. This was far from the best Survivor Series, I will say that, but I have definitely seen worse. Now, let's get to the main card. We kicked off the show with Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair, Raw Women's Champion versus Smackdown Women's Champion. And I should note that the cold open had footage from The Rock's movie Red Notice, which got a lot of people speculating that maybe The Rock would show up on the pay-per-view, the 25-year anniversary since his debut. And throughout the show, we saw clips of The Rock throughout his illustrious career. Anyways, Becky and Charlotte, really good match here. Like, they were going right after each other. It was like a brawl, like they had a personal beef that they had to settle. Match was not perfect, though. I felt like a few sequences were sloppy, and Charlotte did her moonsault to the outside and did not really connect at all. Like, her arm barely touched Becky. There were a few awkward moments in the match, but overall the intensity was there, and I liked their trash talking back and forth. That was good. They were slapping each other around, and Charlotte even dropped a few S-bombs during the match, saying that Becky Lynch just talks a lot of shit, and everybody knows that Charlotte, is the greatest. They traded a lot of near falls during the match. Crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." They put on each other's submission holds. Becky put on the figure 4, and Charlotte did the disarm her. And then for the finish, Charlotte attempted to pin Becky while grabbing onto the rope. However, the referee caught Charlotte in the act, and then Becky reversed the pinfall, and Becky also grabbed the rope. However, the referee, for whatever reason, did not look to see if Becky was cheating and counted out Charlotte Flair, giving Becky Lynch the victory. Kind of a cheap finish to protect Charlotte Flair. Basically a non-decisive finish here. Whatever. Match was really good, the finish. The referee was an idiot. Like, the referee catches Charlotte but completely misses Becky doing the same thing. So I kind of had mixed feelings about the finish, but the match itself was pretty good. Pretty solid start to the show. And Becky even had a line about how now Charlotte can go complain to the dirt sheets about losing the match. It was pretty good. It was a strong opening. Finish, a little questionable, but I guess when you book yourselves into a corner where you really do not want one of your champions looking weak, this is what you do for a finish. Darren says, idiot referee, LOL. Caleb Jacobs says, if the poll had an F grade, I would have done that, but I put a D. Wow, Caleb Jacobs, not a fan of this show. Darren also says, I think Charlotte needs to take time off. A lot of her wrestling seems very stale. And Joshua says, surprised it was the first match of the night. Well, I guess they wanted to start the show off. Apparently, that match was supposed to end the show, but WWE decided to change plans at the last minute, which I think was probably the right move, but we'll talk about that perhaps a little bit more as we get through this. All right, so we had our first of 2 Survivor Series elimination matches. Team Raw, Seth Rollins, Finn Bálor, Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, Austin Theory up against Team Smackdown, Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, King Woods, Happy Corbin, and Sheamus. Now, we had Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins arguing right off from the get-go. Could they coexist? Well, the answer was no, because Kevin Owens, he insisted on starting the match, and then he just walked off. And people were making the joke that's going to be Kevin Owens when his contract expires. I don't know. But yeah, Kevin Owens just walked out, did absolutely nothing in this match. Fight Owens, fight. He was not. And the match was pretty standard at this point. King Corbin got pinned by Bálor with the coup de grace. And then we had Lashley and McIntyre going at it, and Lashley eliminated Xavier Woods with the Hurt Lock, and then McIntyre had been taken out earlier by Lashley. McIntyre got back in the ring. They fought to the outside of the ring. They ended up fighting into the crowd, and both of them ended up getting counted out. So yes, McIntyre and Lashley both counted out. I pretty much knew at this point SmackDown was not winning. My whole argument for SmackDown winning was for Drew McIntyre to be on the winning team. But with him being out, I'm like, well, so much for SmackDown. So moving on here, McIntyre got a last laugh because Rollins taunted him and McIntyre hit him with a Glasgow kiss. Match continued. Bálor got pinned by Sheamus with the bro kick. And Austin Theory got a pin. He pinned Sheamus with a roll-up. And then Sheamus laid out Theory. And then Sheamus, who for a while was working together with his old nemesis, Jeff Hardy, He attacked Hardy, and Hardy was by himself, but he pinned Theory with a swanton. Rollins and Hardy went back at it, and this was a pretty good ending to the match with them going back and forth, but I really did not think Hardy was going to win this, and sure enough, he hit the twist of fate, went to the top, hit the swanton, but Rollins got his knees up, and then Rollins hit the curb stop, picked up the victory to be the sole survivor. Pretty good match. Not great, but I did think it was solid. Walter Cruz with a $2 super chat says, Jeff's been treated bad 4 weeks and he's the last one. Well, that's kind of funny because I predicted that he was going to be the first one eliminated, and he actually ended up being the last person on his team. Maybe Jeff Hardy will get an opportunity at Roman Reigns and take another L, but at least he'll get to be on the island of relevancy. Moving on here to the next match, we had the 25-man Battle Royal. But before we get to that, before we get to the Battle Royal, we have to talk about Vince McMahon. So Vince McMahon was on this show. Vince arrived in a limousine and he had an egg. I had no idea what this egg was, but apparently it's from The Rock's movie Red Notice or whatever it's called. And it's like Cleopatra's egg or some crap like that. I thought it was the gobbledygooker's golden baby chick or something. I thought this was some kind of rib regarding the 1990 Survivor Series. I did not know that it was from The Rock's movie. So I guess this was supposed to be a tease, or I guess to celebrate The Rock's 25-year anniversary. Whatever. Anyways, Vince was backstage. He had this egg in a case. He brought Roman Reigns in, and Vince revealed that this egg was given to him by The Rock, and it's worth $100 million. I mean, this is stupid. And Reigns said that the egg was almost as much as his next contract is going to be. And the convo ended. Roman Reigns just walked out of the room unimpressed with this egg. I thought this was ridiculous, and it gets even more ridiculous. Stay tuned. Oh, believe me, this gets even dumber. So anyway, speaking of stuff that was dumb, this Battle Royal. I mean, this could have been on Raw. Why was this on the pay-per-view? I guess they wanted to pay tribute to The Rock, but this was just goofy. It was sponsored by Pizza Hut. Nobody out-pizzas the Hut except for Hungry Howie's, Little Caesars, and actually Pizza Hut's pretty solid though. I put them above Domino's, but we're not talking about pizza here. We're talking about Survivor Series. The only people to get entrances for this match were Sami Zayn, AJ Styles, Omos, Ricochet, and the Street Profits. In other words, those are the contenders to win the match. Pretty much every time, the guys that do not get intros are not winning the match. It has happened, but it's pretty rare, I think. Street Profits were goofing around with the pizza, and basically the storyline here was Omos. Omos was dominating the match. R-Truth tried to offer Omos and Otis a slice of pizza. Otis ate the pizza and then eliminated R-Truth, and then Omos continued his dominance. Omos eliminated 12 guys in this match. He eliminated Omos. He eliminated Shanky, who was pretty much just a jobber in this match. And the thing that was really dumb about this match also was that you had all the Raw guys with Raw t-shirts, all the SmackDown guys with SmackDown t-shirts, but they were not working together. Like, they were throwing out people from the same brand. Like, that did not even make sense. I get it. Sami Zayn's annoying, but he's trying to get the SmackDown guys to work together, and then they just betray him. Really made no sense. But, I mean, then again, there's nothing on the line, so why would these guys really care? But why did they wear the t-shirts? The whole thing is just so absurd, and it was really hard to get invested in it. There was a tug of war. General Aziz got eliminated. Him and Omos were playing tug of war with AJ Styles. Omos got attacked. Styles was eliminated. And it came down to Omos and Ricochet. Of course, Omos picked up the win. And then after the match, I guess for the feel-good moment or whatever, the Street Profits started tossing out pizza. Who in their right mind would eat that, by the way? I mean, not a knock on Pizza Hut, but that pizza looked like it was sitting for quite a while. And who knows how many people were touching it. But yeah, they were throwing out pizza. I'm sure some people were drinking enough that they would eat anything thrown at them. And yeah, this whole thing was just silly. Could have been on Raw. This guy Experience with a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Says, I actually had Domino's while watching this pay-per-view. I'm not a big Domino's guy. I have to be honest with you guys. Hungry Howie's, their stuffed crust pizza, you put some of that herb and garlic on it. It is incredible. Like, if I did not care about my health, I would be eating that every day. By the way, 10-minute countdown. My birthday officially begins in 10 minutes. But as I said last year, the whole show and the recap was on my birthday. I think we went into the 23rd. But yeah, no days off, not even birthdays. The show must go on. But yeah, 10 minutes. 10 minutes left of being 38. This guy Experience with a $2 super chat says, once again, Roman didn't need the win, build up Big E. Jumping ahead a little bit, but I will get to that shortly. I have a different opinion on that, but we will get to that shortly. All right, so RK Bro versus the Usos, Jimmy and Jay Uso. Good match here. I enjoyed it. It was pretty solid. And they brought up how Randy Orton broke the all-time record for the most pay-per-view matches in WWE history, like 177 or something like that. Future trivia question, I'm sure. It was a pretty standard match, though. Like, it could have been the main event of a Raw or SmackDown. But it was a very solid match. Back and forth. Usos worked over Riddle. Orton would get the hot tag. But then the Usos regained the upper hand, and they hit some double super kicks. Riddle somehow kicked out. The best thing about this match, in my opinion, was the finish. The finish was really cool. So, Randy Orton got the tag. Jimmy Uso did not see the tag. And Jimmy went up to the top. He was going to hit his frog splash on Riddle. He thought Riddle was the legal guy. He jumped up to do the frog splash, but Randy Orton caught him midair with the RKO. Riddle took the bullet there, but Randy Orton hit the RKO and pinned Jey Uso. I loved the finish. Really cool, creative, and that stood out. So big thumbs up for whoever came up with that finish, whoever produced that match, whoever's idea was for that finish. Well done. Hamp Kana with a $2 super chat says, I'm disliking for what you said about Domino's. I mean, to each his own, but I just think Domino's is really bland, in my opinion. I'm not a big Papa John's fan either. Hungry Howie's is my favorite now. Since moving to Michigan, Hungry Howie's is where it's at. I've always liked Little Caesars, and I do like Pizza Hut too. Walter Cruz with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Walter. Says, Randy Orton always gets awesome RKO spots, but the Seth Rollins and Evan Bourne's were the best ever. I was at WrestleMania 31. That RKO was probably my all-time favorite, but that's a bias. Evan Bourne's was also a great one. Gary Joe with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Gary. Says, this show was head-scratching. Happy birthday, brother. Indeed it was, Gary Joe, and thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the birthday comment. Hamp Connell with a $2 super chat says, I'm now liking you for what you said about Papa John's. All right, well, there you go. There's a good place out here called Buddy's Pizza here in Michigan. That's another strong chain. I really like the Detroit style, but I'm all for every style. I like New York style. I like the New Haven style. There's a really good place here, Tomatoes a Pizza, whatever they pronounce it as. That's a good place out here. Dwayne Atkinson sent in a $5 super chat. He says, save for last if you want, but can you see them doing a year-long build-up for The Rock and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania like they did for The Rock and John Cena? I will answer that now. Maybe. I know there's the talk about WrestleMania in Hollywood. It all depends on The Rock's schedule and the whole insurance issue. It's still a big question mark. And can they even plan out something that long in advance with The Rock's schedule? It's just hard to say. You know, The Rock is a decade older than the last time we saw him wrestle. I mean, technically he had that match with Rowan, but his last real match was a decade ago. He's a lot older, and he's even a bigger star now than he was then. Tough to say if they could book something like that a year in advance, but I mean that's the working idea right now, I think, to do that WrestleMania. All right, now we move on to the women's elimination match. This was kind of a disaster. But before we get to that, let's get to the follow-up to the egg. We had Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville in Vince's office, and apparently the egg was stolen. The $100 million egg was stolen. And Vince wants to get to the bottom of this, damn it. He said, call the police. And then he told Adam Pearce that he wants every single WWE superstar interviewed. And apparently it's going to happen on Monday Night Raw. Everybody's going to be on Raw and they're going to be interrogated or whatever. Like, really? First of all, your ratings are that low. You got to come up with some desperate storyline to get everybody on the same show. That's number one. And number two, is this a tease for The Rock versus Roman Reigns? Like, if so, this is like the stupidest angle to build up The Rock versus Roman Reigns. A stolen egg? Really? Like, what's the end game with this? I really don't know. It feels like a cheap ratings ploy, but yeah, this storyline is the shits. It sucks. Now, let's get to the women's match. Each team was wearing colors representing their team. So the Smackdown ladies had blue, the Raw ladies had red. I guess that was kind of cool. But that was probably the best thing about this match, to be fair. Carmella tried to put her mask on, and Toni Storm rolled her up and made short work of her, which helped me because I did pick Carmella as the first one eliminated. I actually think I'm ahead now in the No DQ Predictions League. I'll have to check with Noah Foster on that one. And, the big question that is so intriguing to everybody, can they coexist? Shotzi Blackheart, and I'm going to call her Blackheart, damn it, until they change her name back. They'll probably fire her first, unfortunately. Sasha and Shotzi started having arguments, and fans really did not care about this match. Like, they started doing the wave, which, when wrestling fans do that, it means they're bored. And then they started chanting CM Punk, first time since CM Punk joined AEW, I think. And some fans were booing this, The guy is in AEW now. So some fans shot down the chants, but you could hear them for 10 seconds or so. Crowd just did not care about this. And can you really blame them? Like, this match just thrown together, nothing's on the line. Why would you even care about this match? And it sucks for the ladies because they were trying here. But this match was just a mess. The whole can they coexist thing was just ridiculous. So we had, the only time they really got into it was when it was Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks in the ring together. Then the crowd got hot. Walter Cruz sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Walter. Says, 100 million eggs gone missing and you're going to wait a whole day to investigate? Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, first of all, who in their right mind is going to believe that egg is $100 million? It's just like, kind of like the Brock Lesnar being suspended for $1 million. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, it's so stupid. By the way, it is 11:59, so one more minute of me being 38 years old. I will be 39 in approximately 60 seconds. All right, so for this last minute, I better say something intelligent. We had several pins, and it came down to Bianca Belair being the final person on her team. She was up against 4 members of SmackDown. Bianca Belair all by herself, but guess what? Sasha and Shotzi, they blew it. They started having issues again, and they argued on the outside of the ring. And Sasha ended up being counted out. I mean, this made everybody look foolish. They all look like a bunch of damn fools. Sasha Banks is supposed to be the top babyface on SmackDown, and she could not get her shit together. And she blew it. Like, this just made her look like a complete moron. I'm sorry. And thus, my final comment at the age of 38. I am officially 39 years old. Thank you guys for the happy birthday messages. TJS sent in a $1 super chat, sent in a cake emoji. I appreciate that. The This Guy Experience with a $5 super chat says, Survivor Series just needs to be called WWE All-Star Game, named after NBA. Survivor Series pointless. Raw always wins. Again, Roman Reigns did not need the win. He got it to stop a clean sweep. I think they just need to get rid of Survivor Series at this point. I really do. But anyways, let's get back to the match. It is officially November 22nd, and we still got Survivor Series to talk about. It took us 2 days to get through this recap. Bianca Belair managed to single-handedly beat the other 3 SmackDown participants. She pinned Natalya, then she pinned Baszler, and finally, she pinned Shotzi with the KOD. So Bianca Belair got her big win. I was right on this prediction. I figured Bianca would pick up the win here to build her up for Becky Lynch. And yeah, SmackDown kind of looked very weak here, which is surprising because SmackDown is the A show at this point. But yeah, they made SmackDown look really pathetic in this match. Bianca won. Match kind of sucked, though. At least the booking of it was not good. Life of Beto with a $20 super chat. Thank you for that, Life of Beto. I appreciate it. Says, happy birthday, Aaron. Much appreciated, my friend. All right, now we move on to the main event of the evening. Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, up against Big E. WWE Champion versus Universal Champion. And backstage, Paul Heyman was interviewed by Kayla Braxton, and it was teased that Brock Lesnar's suspension is ending. Will he be back on SmackDown? I don't think he's going to be at day 1. I think Brock will be back for Royal Rumble, but I guess they want to start planting the seeds for Brock's return. Not sure if Brock's going to be in the Rumble or if he's going to face somebody in a Rumble pay-per-view match like Drew McIntyre. But yeah, one would think Brock's going to be back in time for the Rumble. Teaching in Color X sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Says, hey, Aaron, did not watch the show tonight. Did it seem like a lot of people watched the show on like social media and stuff? A fair amount. Did not seem like it was an overwhelming amount by any stretch. I definitely think there was a better turnout for SummerSlam. Chat room tonight, there seems to be a good turnout. Over 200 people watching live, which I do appreciate very much. And if you're liking this video, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube and spread the word. Tell a friend. Hamp Kano with a $9.99 super chat. Thank you, Hamp. I appreciate that. He says, happy birthday. I am paying your monthly Peacock subscription for your birthday. Also, can you tell that Vince is going to be in creative control of the Roman Reigns versus Rock match with this demented egg story? I hope not. But maybe this whole thing with the egg was WWE trying to kiss The Rock's ass. So he'll do a WrestleMania match, whether it's 38 or 39. You know, they got to kiss the biggest movie star in the world's ass to make sure he'll show up and do this match against Roman Reigns. But yeah, it's a terrible storyline, and I would prefer to not talk about it any more than I have to. But thank you again, Hap. I very much appreciate it. All right, now let's get to this main event match. Big E got the early momentum. Roman Reigns took a powder on the outside. Paul Heyman gave him some advice, gave him a pep talk. Big E went for the splash on the apron, but he missed. He fell to the floor, started selling his knee, and Roman Reigns took advantage of that. Roman was doing his trash talking. He was trash talking to Big E. He was yelling at the fans. That actually helped Big E. Big E got back into it, did some belly-to-belly suplexes, but then Reigns regained the upper hand, got some near falls. Again, people thinking, is it a tease for The Rock? Roman Reigns hit the Uranagi. Crowd started a Rocky chant. Crowd hate was not great for this in the beginning, and I think it was because people were really thinking The Rock was going to show up, and maybe they were just waiting for the match to end. But as the match went on, the crowd really started to get into it. Reigns put on the guillotine, but Big E got out of it, hit the big ending, but Roman Reigns was too close to the ropes. He got his arm able to grab the rope, and then Reigns managed to hit the spear to Big E. Big E kicked out of the first attempt, but then the second spear, Reigns got the job done. Clean win for Roman Reigns. No Usos, no Paul Heyman interference. And going back to the super chat from earlier, the question is, was this the right ending for the show? Yes. Roman Reigns needed a clean win. Granted, the WWE champion took a loss, but Roman Reigns needed a big win here because a lot of his matches have ended with outside interference. And Roman's the guy. I mean, Big E is the WWE champion, big deal, but Roman Reigns is still the tribal chief. He is the head of the table, and he's the main event. Let's be real here. Big E's going to be middle of the card on a pay-per-view that has Roman Reigns unless he's fighting Roman Reigns. The game is on 100 with a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. He says, why do brand supremacy when Raw wins every year except for 2019 in which NXT won? The WWE can't give Smackdown a bone to win Survivor Series being the A show. Lame. Well, Roman Reigns did win the main event, and I guess they had to balance it. So since Roman Reigns won the main event, Raw had to pick up some other wins, and Raw won both elimination matches. I mean, whatever. I don't care. None of this matters. And that's really what hurt this show the most. Overall, I did enjoy the show. But it was not a great show, in my opinion. I'm leaning between a B and a B minus. I'm probably going to go a little down and go with a B minus because there was really nothing on the line, the whole egg thing. And it was just too long of a show. Like, we did not need that battle royal. Hell, we didn't even need a couple of the other matches on this show. Like, they could have just done 6 matches, 3-hour show. Bam, we're good. So yeah, I'm going with a B minus, and no real surprises or anything. It was definitely not at the level of Full Gear. That's for damn sure. So looking at the poll, a lot of you liked it. 41% A, 24% B, 19% C, and 16% D. Interesting. Now let's see what else we got in here as far as the letter grade goes. Caleb Jacobs went F+. All right, Caleb, we get it. You don't like WWE anymore. Mohammed B-, MVP Kevin Maud W with B-. Steve-O with a C+, CC Drink with a B. TJS says C due to no stakes. Matt Helms with a B+. Aaron Anderson says 3 hours would have been good. Michael sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that, Michael. I appreciate it. Says, Sasha's dog has the egg via his Instagram. What? Wait, is that a serious comment? I did not know that Sasha Banks' dog had an Instagram account. If that is legitimate, somebody needs to tweet that or send it to me in an email. I would find that quite amusing if that was even done as a joke. But yeah, let me know. Elijah says, I wasn't expecting anything really good before the show, but honestly, it was really good, above my expectations. Well, I'm not sure if I had my expectations high, because I knew it was going to be a quality show in the ring, and it was, but some of the finishes I was not a fan of. Again, my favorite finish of the night was definitely that RK Bro finish with Randy Orton hitting that RKO from the frog splash in midair. To me, that was definitely the highlight of this entire show. All right, guys, that's all I got for tonight. Thank you all so much. And the birthday celebration will continue for the Raw recap. Come celebrate with me Monday night after Raw. Thank you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest. Have a great night, everyone. Take care, and I will see you all next time.